Hi, welcome back to the Rule of Law Brief. I want to start today by saying something I don't say nearly enough. Congratulations to my little brother, Jordan Charles, the Vice President of the New Glenn Business Unit at Blue Origin. Yesterday's New Glenn launch, and especially the clean recovery of the booster stage, was a genuine milestone. It was thrilling to watch. Anyone who follows aerospace understands that recovering a booster isn't a cosmetic achievement. It's the dividing line between a rocket you can fly occasionally and a system that's economically viable, reusable, and capable of routine operations. Jordan and his team earned this success. They took deep hits, they dealt with the setbacks, and they just kept grinding. The engineering was superb, the science was disciplined, and the perseverance was real. And in my house, this was a moment of celebration. My wife also works in the spaceflight industry, so this was one of those rare nights where both sides of the family were cheering for the same mission. This is work we respect, and seeing a success like this is something we are genuinely proud of. But this post isn't just about family pride. Achievements like this force us to confront a deeper point. The way society approaches the unknown says a great deal about the society itself. A healthy democracy depends on curiosity, real curiosity. The kind that pushes you to test assumptions, explore beyond your comfort zone, and ask what might be possible. Authoritarian systems suppress that instinct. Democracies flourish because of it. Spaceflight is curiosity in its purest form. It's the refusal to accept that the limits we inherited are the limits we're stuck with. Then there is the perseverance itself. Not the inspirational poster version, the actual unromantic kind. The grind, the iteration, the thousands of engineering decisions that have to be right, the failures that have to be absorbed, and the failures which are inevitable along the way, the discipline required to keep moving forward. In spaceflight, you don't bluff your way through physics. You either solve the problem or the rocket doesn't fly. It's a mindset that the rest of our culture could stand to relearn. And then there's the ambition. Space programs force a longer horizon. Not one election cycle, not whatever outrage is dominated by the news feed today, something bigger. There's a junction here worth calling out. Spaceflight is one of the most complex engineering challenges human beings attempt. Nothing about it is plug and play. The margins are narrow. The systems are unforgiving. The problems are multidimensional and constantly evolving. That level of complexity forces creative problem solving. Real creativity, not corporate jargon. The kind that comes from rigorous analysis, disciplined experimentation, and the willingness to rethink assumptions when the data doesn't cooperate. Spaceflight demands that kind of creativity. And when a country invests in projects that require that level of thinking, it strengthens the broader culture of innovation and everything else that depends upon it. There's another point we don't discuss enough today. Even today, long after the Apollo era, if you ask a young child what they want to be when they grow up, an incredible number will still say, I want to be an astronaut. That matters a lot. Spaceflight pulls kids into science, math, engineering, and problem solving in a way that nothing else does. It inspires them to work harder in school, to deepen their curiosity, and to reach for goals that are just slightly out of their grasp. This industry doesn't just build rockets, it builds ambition. Now, there are a lot of people who argue that this money should be spent elsewhere, on social programs, on human rights initiatives, on domestic needs. I understand those arguments, and there's a lot of merit there. But those critiques usually underestimate how much good space exploration delivers to ordinary Americans. It's not just in terms of technology, and it's not just in terms of jobs, but in something more fundamental, inspiring the next generation to dream bigger and pursue hard things. That's not a luxury. For a country that wants to stay competitive, it's a necessity. So yes, I'm proud of Jordan. I'm proud of my wife. I'm proud of the entire New Glenn team for what they've accomplished. But I'm also grateful for what their work represents. Curiosity, perseverance, ambition, and the kind of creative problem solving that keeps a free society vibrant and forward-looking. If we cultivate those values deliberately and unapologetically, there's a lot more that we can accomplish together.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.